could be
It's
interesting.
funny how we're seeing quite a few teams at that top four slip up. Look, Chelsea got beat by West Ham a few weeks ago, right? They did dominate the game, but they weren't clinical enough as well. So it's some of these like the sort of banana skin games, aren't they, for these teams? I'm sure Man United thought it was in the bag and maybe just wasn't going that extra mile to solidify the result. So I think we might see one more or two more of those slip-ups. I mean, Leicester, I don't think Leicester are looking like the team in the top four, to be honest. I think it's going to be Chelsea or Man United in those third and fourth spots.
I think NVD makes a valid point to Harold's question there about perhaps teams in the top four that or going for the top four, and Sheffield United arguably could still make it. I think it's a bit of an outsider. But in terms of game week 37 and 38, as you said, they've got Everton at home, and then the last day of the season they got Southampton. Not the easiest, but not the most difficult. I mean, Chelsea were called out. I think Chelsea got a difficult run in. They've got Liverpool in 37, and then they've got Wolves in 38. So I wouldn't be looking at them. I do think Man City's a good one to look at. I just heard some Wolves there. I like that. We then got Arsenal, guys. I think Arsenal have got a fairly easy run in. They've got Aston Villa in game week 37 and Watford in game week 38. So two teams I would look at, Man City and Arsenal. Vieira, what do you think? Anyone to add or anyone to remove?
I agree. I think Man City, just because they're, again, having fun and just scoring 5 goals a game at the moment, it seems.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Manchester United, because they got everything to play for to try and get that fourth spot.
That's true. Man United, look at that. They've got a couple of easy fixtures, I would say, against Palace. I should never say that, but they've got West Ham. They've got your last game of the season, Leicester, as we already mentioned. So should beat West Ham, hopefully. I shouldn't take that for granted, seeing as you guys are on a resurgence. But captain, anyone to add?
Well, I was just looking at Wolves. The next few games they've got Burnley at home. That's going to be probably maybe like a 0-0, but that'd be good to get some defenders in, I would say. And the next game they've got Crystal Palace at home.
Yeah,
that's definitely worth thinking about. And then the last game is Chelsea, and Chelsea have not been performing. So I don't know, like Wolves are like hot and cold. They look promising at the beginning of the after it turned, and they were scoring goals, but they kind of had a lull. But then they've come back again with a 3-0 win. So it'd be interesting to see where they go from here. I think that could be worth keeping an eye on.
Okay, gents, so let's finalise this to answer Harold's question. Give me the 3 teams, captain, that you think are the 3 teams in the run-in to focus in on.
Man City, Man United, I would say Wolves.
Wolves.
Yeah.
Hellers?
I'm going to say Man City, Man United. I would actually go Burnley as an outsider one, a differential for those last 2 games. Got Norwich and Brighton.
Yeah, that's actually a really good shout. I mean, Brighton are awful at the moment, and we all know what Norwich are like. That's a good shout. NVD?
Yeah, I mean, apart from Manchester City, Manchester United, I'm still going to stick with Sheffield United, to be honest. I think, they've still...
Sheffield United,
might have slightly more difficult fixtures maybe than others, but I still think they've found a rhythm.
And Patrick Vieira?
Yeah, Man City, Man United, and let's go with my hometown, Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
Big
shout. They've got
Southampton and Everton. Key defender, though, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Nathan Ake,
yeah.
They've got it all to play for, so it's not a bad shout. I think for me, Man United, Man City and Burnley, I actually like that Burnley shout. They're the 3 I'd be looking at. So Harold, that gives you quite a lot of teams. What do you think? You happy with that? I mean, they're the ones to hone in on for sure.
For sure, yeah. So I'm really grateful for the options that you've given me, because I really didn't think of anything more than Man City, Man United. So it's been really useful. So I really appreciate that. And I'm going to go and get some tea and crumpets. And if you want to come and join me in the... maybe not. Oh, maybe not. Anyway, I've got to go. My wife is calling me, and I believe that she wants me to cut her Battenberg. So I'll be off, and thank you very much, and I really appreciate it. And I look forward to hearing your poddy. Poddy, is that what we call it these days?
It is. You are down with the kids,
anyway, yes. Thank you, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Wow.
Harry Kane, though, could we just take a moment just to say how bad Harry Kane's been the last few weeks?
Oh my God! Like,
being a Spurs supporter,
my God, it's been.
I've stuck with him for 3 weeks, thinking he's got to score in, like, you know, all these teams he's played against. Even Arsenal, he always scores against Arsenal, completely blanked.
He scored one, didn't he? Though a couple of games ago.
One, yeah. He's like the creativity's there. I believe that, you know, he has, you know, he knows where to go. He's in the right place at the right time, but he's just that 1 second too slow. He's just not there. He's not right where he would be like a couple of seasons ago. He would have nailed too many chances. Like, whenever Kane had the ball, like, you knew he was going to score. Like, now it's just like you don't have that belief.
Do you think it's? Do you think since his injury, you know, I know he's back from injury and all that. Do you think that, you know, I know he's had a few injuries over his career, isn't he? That's kind of knocked him back, but he always seems to kind of bounce back.
He hasn't really just come back though. He's not as instinctive, maybe, because he was injured and then he's come in. Maybe his instinct's not quite where it was. Yeah. Give him a few more weeks, maybe. Now, game week 37 and 38, we're going to look at some of the ones to watch. Patrick Vieira, I'm going to hand it over to you first. For game week 37 and then game week 38, which 3 players are you looking at where you feel there's going to be big points over these game weeks?
So I'm going to go with Fernandes. I think he's just doing really well. United are in a position to want to get into that 4th spot.
Are you worried that he is looking a little bit tired?
No, not worried at all.
Okay.
Simple as that. And then Jimenez, I think, because Wolves, you know, they still want to try and fight for that 5th spot too. So I think Jimenez, although they've been a bit off form, I think he'll come along scoring some goals.
And they need him too as well. I like that. Yeah. And Vieira, your last player.
My last player is going to be, I had him from at the start, and I'm going to finish with him, Baby Raheem. I think his little baby legs are nice and, you know, they're not worn out anymore, and he's going to score a few more goals.
Raheem Sterling is back. I think that's clear to see from that hat-trick. So those 3 players, then, they're the ones that Vieira is putting his money on for the last 2 game weeks. NVD, what are you thinking?
Yeah, game week 37, Martial for me. For game week 37, Man United play West Ham. Although West Ham have been resurgent, Man United are at home and naturally kind of pushing for that 4th spot. I think he's going to continue that rich vein of form. I think he's probably been the standout midfielder actually over Fernandes since the restart, even though Fernandes has been in imperious form. Martial has just hit a high, really, to be honest, kind of meeting his expectations that a lot of people had from him. So yeah, he's definitely one to keep watching. I know a lot of FPL managers have got him already.
The one thing I've got to say, I do know Man United have got West Ham, but you've got Martial, you've got Rashford, you've got Greenwood, you've got Fernandes, you've got Pogba. They all seem to be putting in performances. It's hard to select the one that's going to do it every week. Is it literally get 3 Man United players in your team?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, we just spoke about that earlier. I think you have to if you can double up your midfield as well. Even better, to be honest. I mean, a lot of people have done that with City midfielders, so yeah, I think probably now is the time to kind of be doing it with United midfielders. Apart from that, I'd go Mohamed Salah against Chelsea. I think there's a good chance that he might be rested this week against Arsenal. Who knows? Where everyone who's captained him, we'll see. I think kind of, he likes playing against Chelsea, former team, always a point to prove. And also, more than anything, the Liverpool game against Chelsea is our final home game. It's where we're going to lift the Premier League trophy. We obviously want to kind of win that, but then also try and kind of supplant his position into the running for the Golden Boot. I would say Salah.
I really hope you do win that game. I hope you don't try and bugger over United just out of spite and play a weak team.
Who knows? Depends on my conversation with Klopp, but we'll see.
You let him know from me, mate. You let him know.
and then the only other player I would say is actually, again, Leicester. They're hanging on by a thread to that 4th spot, and he's naturally in the running for the Golden Boot as well. 2 items really for him to play for, and they're away at Spurs game week 37. I think kind of the way Spurs are playing at the moment, it's almost just like they're looking at next season really. So I think they're there for the taking potentially. So yeah, they're my 3 players for 37. 38, I agree with Vieira. Man City against Norwich, final game of the season. It's at home as well. To be honest, I mean, you could put your money on anybody, just because I think Sterling's a great pick, but I'm going to say De Bruyne. I think kind of Pep's probably going to want to put on a show insofar as his team that are going to line up for the Champions League games. So, I would think that he's going to name a strong team for the final game of the season. So, yeah, I'm going to go with De Bruyne for 38.
That could be a big score, that, Man City v Norwich.
It could. I'm going to go with a real kind of differential outsider, only because I've backed him recently, but I think there's going to be a lot riding on it, is the West Ham Villa game. Both teams looking at survival. I'm going to go Antonio. He's not his player as that out-and-out striker, even though he's listed as a midfield. And as we said on the call already, he's been gaining points. He's been getting points the past couple of game weeks, so can't look past him, to be honest. I'm going to keep him in my team. He's a reasonable price anyway, so definitely worth it. And then apart from that, it's difficult for the last player. Leicester, Man United, difficult game. I'm actually going to go Chelsea, to be honest. I think Chelsea at home in their last game against Wolves, difficult team to play against, but I am going to go with Pulisic. He's been playing well, got an assist today. Again, everything to play for to really cement that third place, and against potential kind of rival if Wolves kind of do the business in their kind of next two games. So I'm going Pulisic for.
Excellent. He is looking very good, isn't he? I mean, he's in form for sure. So there you go from NVD. He's giving you 3 players for 37 and 38, ladies and gentlemen. Captain Russ, where are you going? What are the players to look at?
I think Sterling could afford him. He'd be in my team, but it's just I know it's just like glory hunting, the fact he's just scored a hat trick, but it's nothing to do with that. It's just his general confidence at the moment. He's back. He's like Sterling is definitely back, and there's definitely going to be more goals. I'd say Ings, like Southampton have got a run of games that potentially he could be putting in the back goals in the back of the net. So. Ings has been like amazing.
Yeah. And he's still got the golden boot as well. I mean, he's 4 behind Vardy, but he's not out of it. He's going to want to finish on a high.
Yeah. I'd go for Martial as well, but someone else said, I think Son, like Spurs have got like a not few games are not too bad. They've got Newcastle in 36. This week we've got like Leicester at home, and then we've got Crystal Palace away. Put my money on
Sonny boy.
Yeah,
excellent. Thanks, Captain. So there are your 3 players you'll be looking at over the next few game weeks. Ricky Pellegrini, top of the league. How are you going to cement it? What are you looking at?
You know what? There is something that I was looking at, and I'm like, forget about the league, forget about FA Cup, Champions League, and all that. It's the king of the FPL. De Bruyne and Salah are going head to head in these last 2 games. So Salah's also on for the golden boot. I agree with MVD. I think Salah is going to have a blinding couple of last games. Being at Anfield against Chelsea and then away to Newcastle. Newcastle not done too bad since the restart, but they've had a couple of injuries, fading away a little bit there. Obviously not fighting for relegation or anything like that. So I can see Liverpool finishing on a high for pride to finish the season strong. But De Bruyne, he's been a bit quiet the last couple of game weeks. Hasn't got in amongst the goals as much, especially in the last week. But I think he's going to solidify his position there. Against Norwich at home, I think, they scored tons of goals, the Etihad as well. So those 2 players for both game weeks I'm looking at. And then I've got to say, we've mentioned him before, Aubameyang. I think even though Arsenal are hot and cold, I think he will also be one to finish the season strong. I think Aston Villa could be a tricky game. It is away, and they are fighting for their lives. But I see Arsenal doing it. I think Arsenal will win those 2 games. I think they will beat Aston Villa and will beat Watford. And they could do West Ham a favour as well. So that would be a double whammy for me. But they're my 3 players for the remainder of the season.
Fantastic. There you have it then, ladies and gents. I will round it out with 3 to look at for you. I'm going Man City. I do agree with the lads, but I'm going to go Foden. I think Foden hasn't had the best last few game weeks. He's played, which is great. And I think he's going to want to finish the season on a high to try and say, Pep, I'm here. I need to play next season. So he's going to need a few goals to do that. So I think he's going to be trying extra hard if he gets some minutes. I'd be looking at Phil Foden. My other one is Aubameyang. Completely agree with Pellers. Aubameyang is going for the golden boot. He's playing Villa and he's then playing Watford. He's another one. He's going to really want that. That'd be my second one. And my third one, and take it from something Pedder said about Burnley. They've got a very easy run in, I think. So Burnley are playing, as we mentioned, Norwich and then Brighton. And I'm looking at Jay Rodriguez. And the reason I'm looking at that guy is last 2 game weeks, he's knocked in a goal in each of them. He got the bonus points in both, and he came away with 9 points in both game weeks. So he's on form. He's going to be feeling confident. I think, he's probably worth a punt. I might buy him. I don't know. I'll see if I can afford him. He's 5.1. He's more expensive